The minimally invasive spine surgery basically stems from this prima facie that please do no harm. If you cannot treat, it's okay, but don't do any harm. So that is what is the principle of any medicine. So that is why we know that open surgeries do cause some harm in terms of muscle damage, in terms of weakening the back. So that is why MIS is here, and this can be very effectively applied for thoracolumbar fractures. And there are many papers dating back to almost 1980s to 2025 now, where they highlighted that MIS fixations for thoracolumbar fractures actually have a lot of benefit in terms of hospital stay, in terms of intraoperative bleeding, in terms of post-operative recovery and morbidity. So this came in 2015. Again, the same things they established, and definitely we know that the recovery and the VAS scores and ODI scores are definitely lesser for MIS surgeries as compared to open surgeries. Again, I was surprised to see this paper in 2025. So I had thought that this issue is settled and done and dusted. We all know that MIS is really better than open surgeries, but then still papers do keep coming up. That also in spine. So it does show that it has a really important issue when it comes to addressing thoracolumbar fractures. So how can we do any MIS surgeries for thoracolumbar fractures? First thing is, for any indication for fractures is, one is instability, that we have to stabilize it, and then if we have neurological deficits, we have to decompress it. So let's see how we can go about it. So the first thing, the workhorse is percutaneous pedicle screw fixations. Definitely we know that when we do these long segment, or especially with intermediate screw fixations, we do need a longer fixations and longer incisions. We end up causing muscle damage. So definitely percutaneous pedicle screws do help. I think just now Prem presented this MIS augmentations for compression fractures. We have n number of gadgets available now: kyphoplasty, stenting, spine jack, and Kiva systems. And we have to, once we fix, we have to fuse. You can do a minimally invasive tubular fusion surgeries for the facets, and you can use additionally facet screws with these tubes. And then you can do a anterior decompression through tubes. You can do it posteriorly, just when you want to decompress the anterior epidural space by taking out the pedicle and maybe depressing the fragment which is compressing the cord, or you can just take that piece out. When you want to do a complete corpectomy, you can go further lateral and you can come extra pleural and then dock your tubes and do corpectomy and put cages also. So this we discussed, and you can do a mini whole lateral corpectomies. You can do a mini open thoracotomy sorts, and then you can use these expandable cages and fix them anteriorly, especially at thoracolumbar junction. Then you can use thoracoscopic approach, and we do have a publication from our institute on this. And then you can use now a hot topic, endoscope to do anterior epidural clearances. And whenever we do MIS fixations for these fractures, implant removal is the question. And for my surprise, we all thought, and the recent papers say, you don't need to fuse in fractures, you just need to stabilize them. But then this paper in 2024, they said, when they went and tried to remove the screws, they found that almost 36% of the screws were clinically or radiologically they were loose. And then now robots and navigation has really helped us in minimizing the radiation to the patient and to the surgeon and surgical team, and they do help you in achieving better results, lesser incisions, and faster recovery. So that's the schematic approach, and that's my last slide. And whenever you require no anterior column, robust reconstruction, you can do MIS surgeries with percutaneous pedicle screws and tubular corpectomies or tubular anterior epidural clearance. So recovery definitely matters, and complication rates are lesser, and long-term results are definitely better. Thank you.